Hi everybody, I'm Jack, and this is Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Hope your week's off to a good start. Mine sure is. Been up early this morning, getting things done, but the morning kind of got away from me here. I don't know where it went. What? I sold a couple of t-shirts yesterday. I'm going to finally put the t-shirt, I'm going to put the store down in the description below. rawtropicallivinggear.com. Pretty excited about that. Still got a few little kinks and stuff to work out, so if you should go there, be kind with me in the beginning because I'm sure I'm going to make a few mistakes as far as all that kind of stuff goes. Anyhow, I want to start the week out talking about no longer raw vegan and raw food diet fails and kind of why. I do videos every day, so if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate it so much if you'd hit that subscribe button now. Then click on the little bell and check send notifications so you'll stay subscribed to the channel. I come across these videos all the time, and to be honest, they irk me a little bit, and they don't irk me for the reason you might think they do. I'm not the raw food disciple. I'm not trying to make everybody raw or even suggest that everybody should be raw. But I don't like bad leaps of logic. I don't like bad reasoning behind things. And to be quite frank, I don't like excuses a whole lot. So every time I come across one of a different one, and I'm mostly speaking, like, you know, the people that I'm kind of speaking more about right there are not necessarily people that just kind of quietly go away and don't do raw anymore, and, you know, they do a healthy version of plant-based. I'm talking about the ones that go on and on and on about it and how the diet failed and how the diet's so unhealthy now. And they go from a lot of them go from hardcore raw food completely to the other side. And now all of a sudden a raw food diet's dangerous, it's not healthy, it's this, it's that, and all the other things, blah, 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 simply because they couldn't do it or they didn't do it properly. So, got a few notes here of different things to talk about. Number one, just like I said, it's okay not to be raw. It's okay not to be fully raw. It's not okay not to be raw. For purposes of this discussion, I'm going to talk about, when I talk about raw, I'm going to just set the bar a little bit lower and just include people that are at least 80% raw. Because, you know, I mean, to me, there are values of being fully raw. I feel my absolute best when I'm getting good fruit and I'm eating 100% raw. But, you know, for general purposes, people are getting so much benefit on a plant-based, and they're getting tons and tons and tons when they're like 80% raw. So that's a lot of raw. That's a lot more raw than most people give credit for. And this is what it is when people fail, the ego comes in, or when it's not working for them, the ego comes in, and all of a sudden it becomes about the diet and not about the person. So I'm not interested in the drama usually, but I do watch these videos, and I watch a good number of these videos because I want to see what their reasoning is. I want to see how they were doing the lifestyle. I just want to know a little bit more about them, you know, because who knows, maybe they're right. Maybe they've gone further than me and they found something that I'm going to find 2 or 3 years down the road, but I don't think so. One of the most common things I find, and like I say, once again, this is in my opinion. Everything I ever say here is in my opinion. I don't claim to be the sharpest tool in the shed, and I don't try to tell you should do everything that I do. But in my opinion, like 99% of the time, maybe 100, I don't remember seeing one that had a whole lot of like super valid reasons. Well, 1 or 2. Is they just basically weren't doing it right, or weren't doing it according to the way I've done this raw food lifestyle and been able to thrive on. Okay, I eat a little bit marginally more cooked food now that I'm in the States, but yeah, I mean, there was just like, when I was in Costa Rica, it was just like, wow. I mean, I was just like zinging on raw foods, and I'm not zinging very much here. I'm just a little bit, maybe a little crankiness is coming in because I'm not getting all the fruit that I'm wanting. And when I say that they're not doing the diet correctly, a lot of times there's no balance there. They're doing some extreme version. Those are usually the ones that are the most bitter after it doesn't work out for them. Or the ones that were doing some extreme version. They were preaching raw as law. A lot of them had, like I say, I watch videos, so ergo they had YouTube channels, so they had a presence. A lot of them, just back themselves into a corner, and we're the hardest of the hard. Raw food is cooked food is poison. We're meant to live on this, blah 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 blah, and they didn't leave themselves much wiggle room. So then when they couldn't do it anymore, and it's kind of like a rubber band that just gets tighter and tighter, and then it breaks. Then the diet, they throw it under the bus. It's all about the diet. The diet's dangerous, this and that. When I don't believe they had enough balance in their eating. Some of the people that I tend to see this happen to are the juicers. And please, people that juice, don't be so damn passionate about something as simple as juice. I'm not talking about everybody that juices. I'm not talking about people that juice every day, that juice regularly, that make juicing a part of their lifestyle. Juicing is great. There's a lot of benefits to juice. What I'm talking about here are the juice people, air quotes. The juice people are the ones that basically live on juice. All they ever talk about is juice. Juice, 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 juice. How many juices did you have today? I had my green juice. I had this green juice. I had 2 green juices. Blah, 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 blah. It's juice, juice, juice. And, I fell into watching a lot of videos like that and some of that thought pattern in the beginning. I wasn't trying to live on juice, but I was using juice for meals. Juicing was a part of every single day, and I think that's why it started to wear me down, when I was trying to produce like 64 ounces of juice every couple of days. So, and other things, other forms of not being really balanced on this lifestyle, not eating too much fat. Too much fat is another one of those things that I think throws so many people, because it just gets your body chemistry kind of wonky when you're eating. They'll be eating a lot of the sugar, the fruit, tons of bananas and tons of nuts. That's bananas are the most basic. I love my bananas, and bananas, you can rock this lifestyle on them, but too many newbies, I think, come in and it's all about, okay, the bananas are the lifeline, that's how I get through, because most places where people are, they can get bananas. And then to keep them, from just flipping out, lots of nuts, lots of avocado, lots of fat. So when they're mixing all that fruit with all that fat, there's just all kind of candida, just all kind of, blood sugar issues, all kind of issues that pop up. So just not a lot of balance. One thing I found, and I think that's the reason that, I've stayed kind of on an even keel without going up and down all that much, is I've tried to progress down my path and get more and more balance on this lifestyle. A lot of that came in, like really honed in when I started making a big point of including greens. Now that's probably been a while, at least a couple of years that I've been heavy on the greens, and I still probably don't get enough greens. I'm not as heavy on them, I don't get as much greens. Tanny Ross, she's great about it. She's diligent. She gets her greens every day. I watch a couple of other people that really work it and get their greens every day, but I do pretty good. I do the best I can. I supplement a little bit with my daily green boost. And now I'm going to be growing some wheatgrass juice, but I feel like I've got balance on this lifestyle. I eat a lot of fruit. I eat a lot of greens. One thing that actually helped too, that I just really started adding in the last six or 8 months, maybe a little bit longer, maybe a little bit less, are more omega-3 fats in my diet, like regularly putting the chia seeds into my smoothies. And I might even get a little bit more, the chia seeds have a little bit better ratio than even the hemp seeds. So I'm really trying to work on the omega-3s now. So I'm always just trying to plug in holes, filling in things, getting a little bit even more balance. And I just continue to feel better and better, on this lifestyle. Once again, I'll feel much better when I get back to where we are designed to do this lifestyle. And that's something I'll talk about here too that may offend a few people. So get ready to be potentially offended. Is a lot of people fail, I believe, on this lifestyle. And failure is a relative word, so don't get too caught up in the semantics. But a lot of people fail because they're in hostile environments, yet their mentality, they see these other people and they see a few people that are scraping by in difficult circumstances and doing the fully raw thing. And they're trying to be fully raw in a hostile environment where they're getting crappy food. It's cold, a good fair portion of the year. You know, we can debate all we want, and if we, you know, people will go back and forth on others' video. This is the natural diet of man. Then others will like just, you know, no, it's not. That's ridiculous. This is not the natural diet of man. My view, personally, once again, opinion, this is our natural diet. This is how we're designed to eat. But this isn't how we're designed to eat away from the equator, away from our tropical fruits. Our body thrives on tropical fruits. I believe that. I can't cite you an article. I can't necessarily get into some deep science, but I believe our body thrives on the tropical fruits. I believe our body needs the tropical fruits to live an abundant life. All the other type fruits that are not tropical fruits, to me, I call them supplemental fruits. They're good for you, got a lot of value to them. They'll help you cleanse. They a lot of good nutrients in there. But you got to have that stuff in the tropics. And when somebody is trying and just being fanatic about living a fully raw lifestyle in a hostile environment where they're not getting good fruit or any fruit, or, you know, it's just cold all the time, and the sad part about that is the person's so, I've got to be raw until the rubber band breaks, and then they go to the other side, and a lot of them aren't even some of them aren't even plant-based, vegan anymore. But even if they are, they default back to eating all the stuff that you see in the freezer at the store, you know, the frozen products, this and the packaged stuff, which I still am very grateful for that stuff, because anything that gets people away from the animal-based products is good, in my opinion. Another reason people fail is limited education, following gurus, getting too caught up in one person's process. If you've never noticed about me, people constantly in comments, in social media and whatever, are always talking to me about their heroes, and I can feel the syrup dripping off their tongue. They're just gooey-eyed. They're in love. They're fanboys and girls. So I ain't no fanboy and girl to nobody. There's a lot of people I respect out there, so I'm not trying to say like I don't need anybody, I don't need any help or whatever. There's a lot of people I respect out there, but I analyze information that I'm getting in critically, and I'm not invested enough in anybody that I'm really like, you know, overly concerned with their opinion on a matter. I've got like this wide, you know, I've got people that aren't into the raw food part of it at all, that are plant-based. I like to get their information. I like to get the raw foodist. I like to get this. I like to get that. But I like a wide variety of information. I absorb this information with an open mind, without preconceived ideas, and it's worked for me so far, and that's why I share how I do on this channel. May not be the biggest channel out there, but I just want it to be. I want it to be like a real experiment. I don't want somebody. You know, I don't want to be somebody that's preaching to you and telling you theoretical stuff and whatever. It's just always been simple from the very first day that I did a video here. You know, look at what I'm doing. If you like the results I'm getting, or if you think I'm healthy, or if you think, yeah, that makes sense to me, do it. If you don't, you know, no hard feelings. You can move on. I don't want to. I try to, as much as possible, not to come from a place of ego on this channel of like me, the way, my way, this is the only way. Like I think I said in the video either yesterday or a couple of days ago, I think there's not necessarily just one very narrow path to a higher form of health, to true health, to our best expression of health. So, you know, take it with a grain of salt. Take it with a grain of salt when you watch anybody's YouTube videos, mine included, mine more so than anybody because I'm a little bit old, senile, and crazy. Be analytical. Don't be so emotional. Don't get so involved in the other person. Take all information out there and evaluate it yourself and see if it makes any sense to you. Maybe apply it a little bit, experiment with it a little bit. But you got to have balance on this thing, and it's not all that hard. I think sometimes too there's too much information out there that people get confused, you know, with videos and blogs and podcasts and you know, all sorts of information. It's a fairly simple lifestyle. Or for me, if you want to live like me, the base of my diet is fruit. Lots of greens to balance that. Some good healthy fats. I try to stay anywhere between 10 and 15%. I'm not fanatic. I'll eat a bite of cooked food a couple or 3 times a week. I'll even I'll enjoy things from time to time if I get somewhere. It's not something I live on a daily basis, but like when I went to that restaurant 3 weeks ago at the beach, I'll eat a little bit of gourmet food because there's mental balance as well as physical balance, and fanatics are never very balanced. So anyhow, this is just kind of my 2 cents worth on why raw food diets fail for people. You might agree, you might disagree, and I love you either way. So anyhow, if you found this video useful, I'd appreciate if you give me a thumbs up, and I will see you guys again tomorrow. And I am going to put that link down below, rawtropicallivinggear.com. And when you go in, I got to play with the site just a little bit more, but try to go up into the settings and click on catalog, because there's more shirts than what are displayed on that front page. So anyhow, later.